All right, welcome to Sam Lawrence Cycles. This is my first ever Zwift race. I had never raced on Zwift before. I'm doing the Zwift Crit Racing Club, the Seaside Sprint. And I'm just gonna quickly fast forward this because it was a lonely start. I was actually sitting here wondering if anyone was actually gonna join the race. But people did. It wasn't a huge turnout, but a few people showed up. And so let's get to that part. And so we're off. There are three other riders. It says that there's one more in the group, but I never saw that person. So it's just me and three other riders for the race. And my goal for this race, being my first Zwift race, was just to see how it goes and kind of hang in and hope for a bunch sprint and just give it my all at the end. And we'll see how that turned out. But yeah, just hanging with the pack, hoping to draft as much as possible, and hope for a decent finish. So we're still all together here, and my heart rate is at 156 beats per minute. It's not too high. I'm feeling okay. And I think coming up here, I decided to just make a move and go for it. um, Throw caution to the wind and just go for it. Um, let's see. It's been a while since I raced this. It's been a few weeks, so I can't remember exactly what all happens. Also, I didn't realize that there's a lead in, and so it says lead in, so I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I do end up kind of sending it, I think, before the end of the lead in, which probably is frowned upon in cycling. I'm not sure. Yeah, so as you can see, it's kind of getting a little strung out here because of the hills. And I've got the featherweight. So I use the featherweight and I give it a go. I think I send it right here is where I put down some watts and just decide to kind of make a move and see what happens. I do end up getting out in front a good amount. Right now I've got a 5 second gap, a 5 second lead behind the group behind, and so I just was totally winging it. Again, going into this race, I thought, oh, I'll just hang on and stay with the group and hope for a sprint finish. And I don't know what I was thinking here, sending it like this, especially so early on in the race. We're still in the lead-in, which I still don't know if it's against the rules even to do something like that during the lead-in. I have no idea, but being new to cycling, I went for it. You'll find out here what happens, but heart rate spiked up a bit. It's at 180, which is definitely high for me. I have a high heart rate as it is. As a 41-year-old, my heart rate goes up to I think 192 beats per minute is my max, which I think is pretty high for someone my age. Still a 3 second gap, so you know they're starting to close back in on me here. So I got this power up, the anvil, I believe it is, and at the time I had never seen this before or heard of it. I had no idea what it did, and so I didn't know necessarily when to use it. And anvil, I was thinking, oh, well, anvils are heavy, so maybe it makes me heavier, so maybe I'll use it during a downhill section. So I think that I used the anvil coming up here in a little bit as I'm going down this moderately steep hill. It's only 1%. Okay, now it jumps up to 4% and I use the anvil. So hoping that that's what that was for in order to kind of speed me up on the downhill. I think I used that correctly. I'm not exactly sure. But as you can see, my gap goes back to 5 seconds now. And the fourth place person is way back there. So there's really only two more riders that I have to get rid of that are now 6 seconds back. And my heart rate is at 185 beats per minute. So I'm definitely feeling this effort to be 6 seconds ahead of the group. And I'm only, what, 2.5 miles into the race, and I still have 10.9 miles to go. So I think at this point I was kind of questioning whether or not I could maintain this effort for the remainder of the race. Knowing that the group behind, they're at 4 seconds now, are still putting in a good effort and they are kind of closing in on me. Gap's 3 seconds now. Again, my heart rate was pretty high. I was wondering and thinking to myself, I've got a long way to go. I probably shouldn't burn all my matches right now. So as you can see, they're coming back. It's only 2 seconds. But I guess that effort did manage to get rid of one of the riders. So it's just going to be me and two other riders here shortly once they catch back up. And here the two other riders catch back up. My heart rate's at 181, so definitely feeling this. I'm thinking I just need to stay with these guys now and not get dropped. I think I'm also hoping that neither of them have energy to put in a big effort because I don't think I had it in me to stay with them if they did. But thankfully, I don't think they do put in a hard effort here. I think I clicked a button on the Zwift click on accident somehow. That happened. I have no idea what I clicked or what happened with that, but I was a little nervous there once my view changed and I didn't know what was going to happen next, but thankfully it just like self-corrected. This is very cool riding in the volcano with all the lava. Again, this is my first Zwift race. This is all very new to me. I didn't know really what I was doing, just totally winging it here. Just hoping that I can hang on to these two other riders. I think at this point, I remember thinking that this Dufton from Canada, who's out in front, is the stronger of the two remaining. And thinking as he's kind of taking off right now that I need to catch up with him and stay with him. And I think that at this point, I was thinking this is going to be my main competition, Dufton and I. As you can see, the other rider, Mosley, is starting to kind of drop behind. They're a second behind right now. So I'm just trying to fight to catch up to Dufton. Mosley's dropping back. They're 2 seconds behind now. As you can see, it's really just Dustin and I, the myself and this other rider from Canada, and the rider behind Mosley is 5 seconds behind us. And so at this point, I'm thinking, let's just stay together and hope for the best at the end. And so that's kind of what my thought process was for the remainder of the race, because it really is just going to be the two of us for the rest of it. We're less than halfway into the race, and the other two riders completely drop off the map. So it's just myself and this other rider, and we still have 9.3 miles to go. My heart rate's pretty high. And we have an 11-second gap in front of the closest rider behind. Um, Definitely thinking I just need to work with him, this other rider, and work with them and just make it to the end. I remember trying to take some turns with pulling, and it seemed like the rider that I'm up against here just wanted to stay in front for whatever reason. So I was happy to sit in and get a draft from them, but definitely did pull forward to take a pull. But it seemed like every time that I went to take a pull, they would like speed up and try to get in front of me. So I'm not sure what their game plan was with all of this, because they really didn't draft much. They were really in the front, and I was just riding behind them for most of the remainder of this race, which was fine with me. I'm not sure what their tactic was, because as you can see, we've got a 20 plus second gap. There's really no chance that the riders behind catch us. So I don't understand, why this other rider wouldn't just ride and take turns with me. So that was kind of perplexing at times, but hey, I was happy to get pulled all the way to the finish line. It looks like I'm playing around with I have this Zwift click so I can navigate, and I still am getting used to how that works. And so just kind of all over the road there with my steering, not really knowing what I'm doing. Again, just trying to stay with this other rider. Right here, it looks like the rider in front is trying to drop me. They're putting in quite a bit of watts per kilogram, although now they went back down, of course. But just a little bit before that, their watts per kilogram were pretty high. So I had to sprint to catch up to them, which I'm able to do. And I have the anvil again, and I'm not exactly sure what it's for at the time. But we're back together. I use my anvil again on that little downhill. It's not very steep, but again, I'm thinking that the anvil's for helping uh, speed up on the downhill sections. So I use my anvil, and it's just myself and the other rider. As you can see, it looks like the other two that were racing, there's really only one left behind. They're 36 seconds behind, so really no chance of anyone else catching up to us. Again, I'm just hoping that I can hang on and this other rider doesn't put in a huge effort and drop me, because, as you can see, I'm recovering a bit. My heart rate's come down. It's manageable at about 165 beats per minute. This other rider is just letting me ride behind them. Again, I try putting in some efforts, and whenever I do that, they just kind of catch up and go in front of me. So I'm not sure if maybe they were afraid that I would attack if I got in front, so they wanted to ride in front. I'm not sure what their logic was, but if I'm ever with another rider like this, I am happy to sit in and get a draft because I'm probably putting a lot less watts down on the pedals in comparison to them. So here I think is one of those examples where I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a poll here. They let them ride behind me and get a draft. Again, we have a huge gap between the closest rider. It's like 35 seconds between us and them. So there's no chance really that anyone catches us. It's just me and this other rider. And you'll see here, I'm sure they pull forward. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this wasn't that case. I mean, we're going uphill 5%, 6% gradient now. Definitely not pedaling too hard or anything, although my heart rate is climbing. I've learned early on in riding that hills and climbing and myself do not go very well together. So they hurt, and I'm scared of them every time. But there you go. They pulled forward there, and I'm happy to sit in. Again, I'm pretty new to cycling. This is my first Zwift race ever, and I don't know much about cycling, but I do know that if you can draft behind someone, that is definitely beneficial. Looks like the rider in front is putting in a good amount of effort, so they've got about a 1 second gap. They're kind of taking off. You can see their watts per kilogram is 2.3. And so it looks like they're kind of making an effort to ride away from me. So I'm putting in some big watts for me at the time, at least. Again, this was a few weeks ago when I raced this. I'm putting in a lot of effort to catch up to them. And I get the anvil power up again. I remember thinking during the race, I'm like, great, I get this anvil again, and I really don't know what it does necessarily. I'm just totally winging it when I use it on the downhills. I think I'm right about that. After the race, I think I looked into it, and I do remember. I think that it helps you in some fashion going downhill. So I think I was using it correctly. So I think this might be a good example of me. I'm riding alongside the other rider, and we're putting in, I'm putting in a little more effort here. I just accelerate a bit so that I'm like, come on, hop on my wheel. You can I'll take a pull. You can ride behind me, get a draft, and I do that, and I carry on with the same amount of speed that we've been going at. And here they right up alongside me. Again, I'm not sure what their tactic was at all in this race. They could have definitely sat behind my wheel. I'm going at the same rate that they were going. I'm taking a turn, trying to work with them. All right, it's the final mile of the race, and we're still together. At this point, my heart rate is 170 beats per minute, so it's not completely maxed out, but it's definitely up there. We've been racing now for over 40 minutes, and I'm definitely feeling it at this point. I'm wondering what to do. And I remember looking at the topography of the course here at the end, and I noticed that there is a bit of a climb and then a bit of a downhill and then pretty much a downhill into a flat for a sprint finish. So I think what my plan was obviously to stay with the other rider and react to anything that they were doing, and then just kind of wing it, and potentially maybe send it at the top of the hill, that last climb, which is going to be coming up here shortly, and you'll see what happens here. So this is the last climb. We're half a mile from the finish line. As you can see, I'm putting in a good effort here. I end up getting a 1 second gap. But then they use the anvil on the uphill, so I'm not sure if that helped them at all. Probably didn't, I'm guessing. So this is kind of the top of the last climb, and then as you can see, the downhill section is here, and this is where I send it. I just put down as many watts as I can, and I go for it. 0.2 miles from the finish. I've got a 1 second gap right now. And I am so spent right now. My heart rate is nearly maxed out. It's a sprint to the finish. The rider behind is creeping up. I see that, so I put one last effort in, and I'm able to just barely pull off the win. The rider behind me, I think if the course was a little longer, they would have caught up and won and beat me. But hey, that's how races go, I guess. This is my first ever Zwift race, and I was able to get a win. Hey, I'll take it. Thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't already, click the follow button, click the like button, and stay tuned for more races like these.